Hey, I'm not gonna form anything. I just want to show something that I've been working on or sort of dreaming about for a long, long time. I don't know if anybody, maybe you can, but I mean, let me just quickly show. I moved a fader. That's the only thing I did. I just moved a fader. And you might wonder why I'm so excited. Thing is, this fader is sending polycinematic via MIDI. So let me just backtrack a little. I've been sort of envious for a long while about this German Der Mann mit der Maschine stuff, and especially the big symphonian thing that basically is a whole polyphony commander for your Eurorack. And I've been thinking about buying those Droid modules just to get some control over harmonic expression. So it was quite exciting for me when I found out that the Disting EX, which I already have, it has chord mode, which can basically output MIDI now. It's the 1.15 version, which is quite new. So that was pretty exciting. And it has a distribution mode. So basically, I have my lovely Moskva sequence here set up with like word and some stuff. Right now I'm mapping to the fader. So I can have a chord here. I can play it as a normal sort of arpeggio kind of thing. Which are you my patches. It sounds lovely. And I can also send it down to marbles, generate a bass line for it. That's something I've been doing for a while. But now I can also send it sort of a broken chord to the polycinematic. So with everything together, it kind of sounds like this. So I just basically moved the fader and then I changed the chord in harmony. Yeah, it's I mean, I was so excited when I got this to work. Yeah, I believe I've won Eurorack. And I mean, a fader is a nice interface just for the performative perspective. But the real cool thing about it is that, I mean, I could just sequence it instead. And then I basically just need to send one CV value, and I basically control the chords, the arpeggio, which is in random, so it generates all sorts of interesting melody-like things. And the bass line as well. So the only thing I need to worry about at the same time It's basically coming up with a melody accompanying this intricate thing. And I mean, I could put a beat to it, I can make it more techno-y, but in this pure form, it's just such a treat to listen to. And of course, there's some effects going on as well. The polycinematic is run through clouds to give this sort of shimmering, in and out stereo effect. And I think that's just makes it a lot nicer to listen to. And it's also the caveat that I have to have the release quite high, otherwise it kind of, you know, just follows the arpeggio, which is not too interesting. But when I get the release really high, just a nice, beautiful pad soup that the rest can just float on like some sort of meatballs in a delicious warm soup. Yeah, for sure. This isn't exclusive to the polycinematic. The reason why this is super interesting to me is that I no longer need to worry too much about MIDI, and polycinematic just becomes a nice module in the rack like all the other ones. And I have like a single patch cable. Well, it's a TRS cable in this case, but I mean, it's a patch cable from one module to another module. And yeah, I mean, there's a lot of really, really nice and warm and interesting polysynths that this could be hooked up to instead. I mean, it doesn't have to be in rack at all, but it's been a problem I wanted to solve in rack as well. And now that I'm live anyway, I might as well just try a little experiment that I just came up with now. Ah, yes. So the new thing you're hearing here is stages in the Easter egg, in the modified Easter egg version that's available in the alternative firmware, which basically allows it to be sequenced as well. So the chord mode on the Disting, it has this assign mode, which is running in now, basically, which just takes the CV values that come in and just distribute them over 4 different voices. So I've just plugged in the CV output of the first voice into the CV input of the harmonic oscillator mode. So now that's droning in the background as well, just adding to this, which is no longer a soup, but a pretty heavy carpet at this point, especially when I turn the other stuff back on. I better actually go back to trying to create a patch for the EMS birthday stream. So, I was super excited. I hope you share my enthusiasm, at least some of it, or at least appreciate my soup with me metaphors. Have a fantastic evening.